Do you sometimes talk to people for a good 10 minutes, but then suddenly realize there's an awkward silence? Are you curious to know more about never running out of things to say? If this is you, then let me tell you, this is the right video for you. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to talk to you about 9 ways that you can use to keep the conversation going for as long as you want. It's human nature that we only tend to talk to people that we like. And that's true because you wouldn't stretch a conversation with someone you despise. But no matter how much you like a person or want to spend time talking with him or her, you can run out of things to say. But there are some tips that can prevent you from blanking out. Are you excited to know more about them? Then let's dive right into the video. Number 9. Practice what's on your mind. Sometimes you need to forget the idea of acting smart all the time. Give yourself a break and try to say random things that have no meaning behind them, like small talk. There should be no shame in talking about how good the weather is or how good the sandwich you are eating is. Trust me, small talk is just like a warm-up. Most social people try to say whatever it's on their mind, and for that very reason, the conversation keeps going despite the fact that there is nothing really important to talk about. So if you think that the person who just passed by had a really cool style and vibe, then you can just simply say that to the person next to you, and this is one way to keep the conversation flowing. Number 8. Get personal. I would not recommend it to everyone, but if you want to keep the conversation going, then don't ask personal questions, as it leaves a good impression on the person next to you. You may want to stay away from personal questions for a while in the time you're getting to know a person. You can instead make any general discussion personal. For example, if you are talking about their field of study, then ask them why they chose it in the first place. You can ask them if their siblings also like this profession, and the person will continue to tell you all about it. And they may also start talking about their siblings too. This is another great way of keeping the conversation going. Not only that, but it will also make the two of you closer if the person decides to share this information with you. You'll likely create a stronger bond. Number 7. Focus on what the other person is saying. Most of the time when the person is telling you about something, one usually focuses on what you will say to him or her in reply instead of focusing on what the other person is saying. When you concentrate on anything the person said to you, you would automatically question him about anything he just mentioned. But when you are not focusing on what he or she is saying, you will simply think on what you will reply. Moreover, some people also focus on how their heart rate is increasing. If you really like the person you're talking to, you may only be focusing on how your heart rate is increasing, or you may also be feeling butterflies in your stomach. All you need to do is stop feeding the internal anxiety and focus on what the other person is saying. Number 6, be a great listener. One can always tell if the person you're talking to doesn't like you. So don't try too hard when you sense the other person isn't comfortable with you. You can't be liked by every single human being. So instead of saying random things you have done in the past, just try to listen what they have to say. Talk to them about the fun things they like to do in their free time. Hobbies, likes, dislikes, anything helps. So do you know someone who tries way too hard to be liked by someone despite all the red flags? Let me know in the comments. Number 5. Look at their feet. You will be surprised to know that a person's feet tell a lot about whether they want to talk to you or not. So notice the body language of the person you're talking to and then look at their feet. If their feet are pointing towards you, it means they like you. They still want to talk to you and keep the conversation going. But if you notice that their feet are pointing away from you, then it's a big sign for you to end the conversation. After figuring out this is the case, you can simply excuse yourself and leave the conversation. Number 4. Focus on your surroundings. Take inspiration from the environment. Look out for things that are present around you and start a conversation about them. For example, if you are at a park, simply ask the person you're talking to if they would be interested in growing plants, or you can also talk about the weather, if it's too hot for them, if they prefer cold weather, and this way you're almost guaranteed to keep the conversation going. Number 3. Don't hesitate to bring up the already discussed topic. When you really want to keep the conversation going, then you don't have to hesitate to talk about the things you have already talked about. Sometimes, when we meet someone suddenly after a long time, we tend to tell them everything that happened to us in the meantime. And we also mention so many things at the same time. So, if the other person told you about the clothing business he just started, but afterwards the conversation went somewhere else, you can always come back to the clothing business topic and simply ask random things about it. What made that person start the business? What are their passions, their future plans with it, etc. Number 2, open-ended questions. Instead of asking questions that the other person can simply answer by saying yes or no, you can ask open-ended questions instead, where they would have to give complete details. For example, don't ask, "Did you enjoy your break?" Ask, "What did you do in your break?" Similarly, don't ask, "Did you like the party?" Instead, ask them, "Who else was at the party?" It also makes the other person feel that you really want to talk to them, so they would also not hesitate to give you the details. Are you liking the video so far? Then make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, as a little action from you can help my channel grow tremendously. Number 1, mutual interests. Try to talk about the things that interest you the most. Mention the things you did on the weekend, like going to the book club or the gym. This way, you will also get to know the other interests of the person next to you. Nothing keeps the conversation going more than mutual interests. It makes the other person think that you are like them. They will tell you more about themselves. Which tip did you find the most helpful? Let me know in the comments, as I will be reading all of them. With that being said, it's time for us to say goodbye, but don't be sad because I will be back with another amazing video soon. Please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you get notified when we upload new content. See you all soon, and thank you for watching.